Hello everyone, it's Pastor Phil Janish and welcome to our Sunday preparation meditation for this week. Brothers and sisters, how much does God love you? Well, let me tell you a story to answer that question. This is a true story from the Bible. One time, the patriarch Abraham was asked by God to sacrifice his son, his only son, his son Isaac, whom he dearly loved. God asked Abraham to sacrifice his son Isaac to show that Abraham loved and feared God the most. And you know, Abraham was going to go through with it. He traveled to the place where God indicated. He put the wood on his son Isaac, and Abraham and Isaac climbed up the hill, and Abraham put his son Isaac on the altar and was going to sacrifice him to God, but God stopped him and said, "You know what, Abraham, you passed the test. Now I know that you love and fear me above all things." But you know, the thing that God stopped Abraham doing, God told Abraham, you don't actually have to go through it. I know that you love me. I know you were willing to do it. The thing that God stopped Abraham from doing, God actually did. God actually sacrificed his son, his one and only son, the one he loved, Jesus. He sacrificed him for you and me. God was willing to tear apart the beautiful, intimate relationship between he and the second person of the Trinity, his son. He was willing to rip that relationship asunder so that he could once again make you and me his children. That is how much God loves us. In our second lesson for this Sunday, the Apostle Paul is going to point this out in the book of Romans when he said, "He who did not spare his own son, but gave him up, how will he not also along with him graciously give us all things?" The Apostle Paul is going to say, while we were still sinners, Christ died for us. That is how much God loves you. While you were still a sinner, God was willing to give up his son. And if God was willing to give up his son, how will he not graciously give us all things? And the Apostle Paul concludes from that some of the most beautiful words in the book of Romans. He says, "For I am convinced that neither height nor depth nor anything else in all creation will be able to separate us from the love of God." You see, if God was willing to sacrifice his son, his one and only son, Jesus, if he was willing to sacrifice him on your behalf, he loves you. There is no question that he loves you. And if that's how much he loved you, there is nothing that can overcome his love for you. Brothers and sisters, rejoice. You are loved. God was willing to sacrifice his son out of love for you, and so nothing can separate you from his love. Enjoy that position that you have as a dearly loved child of God. And we'll talk more about that in church this Sunday. That's how much God loves you. I hope to see you in church. Talk to you later.